From our live stream, I had a chance to look at Rise of Legions, which is trying to position itself as another take on the real-time strategy, kind of competitive play. I believe this is based on a popular mod as well, although I didn't have a chance to look at that at all. But the footage that you're seeing is from the early access build that was provided by the developer, and what you see may not represent the current version of the game. But with that said, there are some very interesting ideas here, but I think what's going to remain to be seen is how the monetization and microtransactions play out. So, the gameplay in a nutshell is that you have two players on either side of this bridge. Your mission is to push your forces over the bridge, taking over the towers, to reach the enemy base, which in turn destroy the enemy base, and you win. Your actual options during combat come from a pre-made deck that you'll create before each match. Those are the icons that you kind of see at the bottom of the screen there. Now, your quote-unquote deck is made up of three types of cards. You have generic units that you can play for coins. You have spells that can be also played for coins. And then you have unit spawners. They are played using soul coins. That is the blue resource you see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. You earn soul coins by playing regular units during a match. And then when you use up your soul coins, that will increase your coin revenue per minute, essentially allowing you to keep building up and up and up. So the challenge of Rise of Legions, of course, is that you need to balance sending out units because everything is done automatically. What you're seeing right now, I have no control over these units. They're going to attack whatever comes first, and they're just going to keep going. The only thing I can do is determine when I play spells and when I place down units. And you can only place down units within your own zone of control. That's that green aura that you saw right there. And similar to something like League of Legends or a MOBA style game, matches can get into this case of push and pulls, as you're trying to make some kind of headway against your opponent. Now, the twist of Rise of Legions is that it does follow suit similar to a lot of mobile games or a lot of CCGs, where there are different styles of cards. I believe there's 4 right now. I think it's blue, green, black, and white. And they simply represent different factions. Now, your actual deck can only be made use of 2 colors at a time. So the deck that I'm playing with right now is a black and green. So that's kind of like undead and nature kind of strategy. And each faction, again, has its own specific units, own little quirks, spells, and even a legendary unit that you can eventually get access to. Now, with that said, though, half of Rise of Legions is obviously the play here that we just won. The other half is the extensive persistent options. We're going to talk about that next, but first, a quick word to our Patreon backers. Thank you to our Patreon backers, and if you'd like to continue this discussion on game design, be sure to check out our Discord channel, linked down below. Rise of Legions is going for a very extensive persistent element and microtransaction system to keep people invested in the game. So how it works is after you win a match, you'll be able to choose your reward from the various factions. Also, once you win a match, or actually win or lose, the cards that you took into the play will level up and gain experience, as you see right here. Now, this is a major part of the online PvP, or just the ranking system. As the cards level up, when they hit certain thresholds, such as level 5, you can choose to spend resources and mill cards to quote-unquote upgrade them. When you upgrade a card like this, it doesn't raise the stats. That's a very important distinction to be made. Instead, it gives the card more charge during a match. What that means is that you can simply play more of the cards at the same time rather than having the cooldown affect you. Now, when you level up cards like that, what it does is that it will put you into a higher PvP bracket. And the higher PvP bracket means that they're going to be able to feel armies as fast as yours, but at the benefit is that you'll be able to earn higher rewards, either earning more experience or being able to get more cards after each match. Again, with the game being in early access and so few people playing it right now, we couldn't really test that. Now, what you're seeing right here is me ascending this card here, or ranking it up, and you can see the charges have gone up by 1. So I'm thinking that this is going to be very similar to other PvP style games, that the second you have one card that is of a higher PvP rank, it automatically will push you into that bracket. That's also a way to prevent players from kind of steamrolling lower level players by saying, I have 5, tier 2 cards, but the rest of my army is tier 1, and you're still going to be a tier 1 fight. Now, the other side of this game that's very interesting is this. This is kind of a unlock system that's tied to completing specific conditions in the game. By doing this, you will unlock additional cards, and very importantly, you will unlock them that they can either A, show up as a reward after a match, or B, you can spend in-game normal or premium currency to then field in your army. Simply completing the prerequisite for a card does not unlock it for use. It simply allows it to become available to be found later on. And this is where things get very extensive for Rise of Legions, because again, you have the various factions, you have quests for each one. Not only that, but you have the various cards. There's again the legendary unit that we talked about earlier, that I'll load up at least a brief description of it in a minute here. And all that is still tied to the progression, the PvP, daily quests, resources, and all that. So the game is definitely trying to be as PvP or as competitive friendly as possible, while still having microtransactions and the monetization. And for people watching this right now, this is free to play. You can find it on early access right now and start playing it, and I don't think they're going to be charging any money for it. But with that said, though, it still remains to be seen as to whether or not people are going to go for this kind of game. Again, a PvP competitive game can be a hard sell in today's climate with games like League of Legends, CSGO, and obviously the Battle Royale phenomenon going on. But I do like what I'm seeing here. There is depth here. There is enough room for a free player to make some headway, and I think I'm about to show off one of the legendary cards in a second here. But again, though, whenever we talk about a PvP-focused game, it's going to live or die based on the community. And if people don't take to it, there may not be enough here simply on the AI play to get you wanting to play it. Now, there is co-op, and you can play with your friends as well. Maybe we can do that at some point if people are interested. But we're going to wrap up this first look video on Rise of Legions here. So again, if you're looking for that kind of multiplayer, competitive style game, but you don't want to either invest in something heavy like a real-time strategy or a MOBA, then this could be a great one to take a look at. And again, we don't really see too many, even just light strategy games being released these days, so I'm curious to see how things develop with it. But I like the developer for giving me a press key to check this one out. Again, you can find it on Steam at the moment. But if you'd like me to tickle your game in the future, please don't hesitate to get in touch and check back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where examine the art and science of games. Until next time, have a great night.